Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the NFL landscape lately, especially in the NFC North, you've probably heard the buzz. Rumors are swirling about some seismic shifts that could redefine the division, and one of the most intriguing whispers involves the San Francisco 49ers. According to some reports from Adam Schefter, the 49ers, who are currently sitting at a 4-4 record after their recent games, are contemplating a bold move. It's all tied to their cap situation, which has become a bit tight after extending Brock Purdy, and now they're looking at a potential trade that could shake things up for everyone involved. So what's the scoop? Well, the 49ers, after their recent extension with Purdy, find themselves in a bit of a cap crunch, and that's prompting them to consider trading one of their most valuable assets, Nick Bosa. Yes, you heard that right. The star pass rusher, who's been a cornerstone of their defense since he was drafted in 2019 as the second overall pick, might soon be wearing a different uniform. The target, the Detroit Lions. Now, why would the 49ers do that? Well, the key reasons are pretty straightforward, but strategic. First, the 49ers are sitting on about $15 million over the cap for 2026, and with that extra cap room, they're eyeing the future, particularly focusing on bolstering their offensive weapons, especially at wide receiver. After all, Brandon Ayuk has been outstanding this season, with a PFF grade of 87.3, and San Francisco's offense is heavily reliant on their dynamic playmakers. But the defense, which has been a bit inconsistent, allowing around 24 points per game, could benefit from a youth infusion, especially on the edge. Trading Bosa, who's just 27, would generate significant assets, draft picks, cap relief, and perhaps even young talent that could be used to rebuild their secondary or add depth across the board. At the same time, the Detroit Lions are looking to strengthen their pass rush. They've already made strides this season with Aiden Hutchinson, a player who's been phenomenal, earning a PFF grade of 90.8 and tallying 8 sacks in just 7 games. Hutchinson is emerging as one of the premier edge rushers in the league, but Lions fans know that to truly contend at the highest level, you need that relentless pass rush duo. And this is where Bosa comes into play. The Lions, with around $25 million in cap space, are eager to make a splash. They're seeking an edge rusher who can complement Hutchinson, someone who can bring that extra burst of pressure that can disrupt even the best offensive lines. Bosa, with his elite pass rushing skills, his career totals include 72 sacks and 370 pressures, would be that game-changing addition. His PFF pass rush grade, which is a staggering 94.0 until September 15, 2025, puts him in the top tier of NFL pass rushers. And let's not forget the current season. 11 sacks in 8 games, including a dominant 3-sack performance against the Seahawks in Week 7. Bosa's win rate is an elite 26%, and he's been a nightmare for quarterbacks, forcing fumbles, hitting them constantly, and creating chaos in the backfield. Now, the rationale for the 49ers makes sense. They're prioritizing cap space and future assets, especially considering their focus on youth and rebuilding their secondary, which has been exposed at times this season. They're also looking to shed some salary, especially since they are $15 million over the cap into 2026. Moving Bosa would net them a first-round pick in the 2026 draft, likely conditional, which could be extremely valuable for their rebuild. The Lions, on the other hand, see Bosa as a perfect fit. Imagine him lining up alongside Hutchinson, forming a duo that could be one of the most feared in the league. Bosa's addition would instantly elevate Detroit's pass rush, projected to reach around 24 sacks in 2025. Adding Bosa could push that number even higher, perhaps to 26 or 27. His presence would significantly increase pressure rates, raising their pressure percentage from 38% to nearly 46%, according to True Media, which would make the Lions' defense even more disruptive and difficult for opposing quarterbacks to handle. And it's not just about sacks or pressures. Bosa's ability to win against double teams, His versatility in rushing from different angles and his relentless motor would also help improve Detroit's overall defensive metrics: points allowed, big plays, third down efficiency, and more. Their run defense would also benefit, allowing just 125 yards per game now, but with Bosa's presence, they could tighten that even further. Plus, his influence would be felt in the locker room and in the film room, mentoring younger players like McNeil and helping to develop their pass rush on third downs, improving their third down defense from 42% to potentially 49%. That's huge because it means more stops, fewer points allowed, and a much more confident defense that can close out games. Let's talk about the bigger picture here. This move could be a game changer in the NFC North and beyond. The Lions have been building something special this season, with their offense humming along and a solid defense that's been improving week by week. But to take that next step and truly compete for a Super Bowl, they need that extra edge, that X factor on defense. Bosa, with his ability to generate pressure, could be that difference maker. His impact could push the Lions from a good team to an elite one, especially with the playoff picture becoming clearer as we head into the second half of the season. The NFC North is a division full of tough competitors: Vikings, Bears, Packers. And now, with a potential addition like Bosa, the Lions could be establishing dominance, asserting their status as top contenders. And speaking of the Super Bowl, the odds are already shifting. Currently, the Lions' odds to win the Super Bowl are around +2-0, but with Bosa potentially in the fold, those odds could improve dramatically, possibly down to +1, 100, or even better. That's a huge jump and shows how much of a difference this kind of player can make. The Lions would become even more dangerous defensively, with Bosa adding a +14% EPA, expected points added on defense, transforming them into a true powerhouse capable of shutting down high-powered offenses. Imagine Bosa lining up against division rivals like the Vikings, where they allow around 3-6 sacks per game. His presence alone would be a nightmare for those offenses. Now, all of this sounds like a bold move, but it's not without its risks. Trading Bosa would mean parting ways with a player who's been a cornerstone for the 49ers, a player with a career total of 72 sacks and a reputation as one of the league's elite pass rushers. But the 49ers are focused on their future, capitalizing on their cap space, acquiring assets, and retooling their defense and secondary. For the Lions, this is a golden opportunity to accelerate their rebuild and position themselves as genuine contenders. The move would send a strong message to the rest of the league. Detroit is serious about winning now, about building a defense that can dominate for years to come, and about making their mark in the NFC. In conclusion, this potential trade is more than just a rumor. It's a strategic chess move that could reshape the NFC North landscape. The Lions, with their rich history, passionate fan base, and now with the chance to add a player like Bosa, are on the brink of something extraordinary. The combination of Hutchinson and Bosa could be a nightmare for offenses, a true testament to Detroit's evolving identity as a football powerhouse. We've seen the Lions make smart moves before, but this one could be the defining move of their current era, elevating them to a level where they're not just playoff contenders but Super Bowl favorites. So stay tuned, because if this trade happens, it will be one of the most talked about NFL stories of the year, and Lions fans, you'll want to be at the forefront of that conversation. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Detroit Lions news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe the Lions should make a move for Nick Bosa if the opportunity arises? Do you think it's worth trading away future assets for a chance to finally cement their status as a dominant force in the NFC? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion is so important to us and to the Lions' future. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and news about your favorite team. So stay tuned, keep that passion alive, and let's keep this Lions conversation going. Because if this move happens, it's going to be a game changer and you'll want to be right here, part of the story. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Lions.